In 1998, I decided to leave my warm, comfortable, cozy job for life and go to the other end of the spectrum, which was like a freelancer, kind of living from kind of day to day to week to month to month. The following Tuesday week, however, the Celtic Tiger arrived. So I took off like a rocket, lads. I had all the work I could cope with. I was making a bomb of money, like legally. It just like, this was just such a good decision of mine, really. What could possibly go wrong? So I took off. So I was kind of a coach guy and a writer and facilitator and stuff like that. I'd been working with sports people at night time on their psychology while I had the day job, and I just thought I could bring that then to the workplace. So a few years later, I was speaking at a sports event, a ladies' golf team, the Munster ladies' golf team, and we did a couple of hours in golf psychology, and it went really well, and that was fine. I was leaving, and someone, Tricia Mankin, came up to me afterwards. She was one of the golfers, and she said, look, that was great, love that. Would you come sometime and do that with our guys in work? They're all into sport. They would love it. They have no idea about sports psychology. Now, we're in Limerick. If ever you're passing through Limerick, that would be great. We're there all the time, so we just fit in with your plans, like if you do it on a lunch break, whatever, it would be great. And I was full of my own importance, and I was like, the guy, and I was making a ton of money, and I thought it was amazing. So I just said, yes, of course, I'll bestow my wisdom. Of course, that will be no problem. You'll be honoured to have me, so that's fine. So that was all cool. And as we were walking away, I said, sorry, Tricia, just by the way, maybe you said, but where do you work? And yes, actually, yeah, I should have said, I'm the PE instructor in Limerick Prison. Your audience will be 20 guys who are never going to leave the prison. I went, right, okay, that's, okay. Right, well, I've said yes, so what the hell? A month later, I was sitting in my car across the road from Limerick Prison thinking I should have asked more questions. like even how do you get in? So there is a bell. So I walked across the road and rang the bell, and a latch went across, and a guy with a hat and a big yes. And in my head, I went instant to, I stole a bar of chocolate when I was 9. It's such a burden now, you've got me. But my mouth kind of said, well, look, O'Brien, sports, Tricia, yes, we're expecting you to come in. So I was brought in through the exercise yard, across into this freezing cold room at the back of the prison that they call their school. 20 desks, 20 chairs. I'm standing there with Tricia and Rita, the woman who runs the school. So we're all fine. The door is flung open then, and in walks 20 lifers, attached to a prison officer each with handcuffs. And they managed to walk into the room, each one of them, without breaking eye contact with me. It was something like this. So at that point, I was trying to hide behind Rita, really. So I started anyway, off we went. This was around about the time of Saipan and Mick McCarthy and Roy Keane. That had all happened about 6 months earlier. So as you can imagine, everybody in the room thinks they're a sports psychologist now, and it was like families are fighting with each other over this. But anyway, we went into it. That was all fine. It was going nicely. I was kind of relaxing into the whole thing. And then a guy in the far right-hand corner put his hand up. I noticed then that he was actually sitting, there was space around him. Nobody was sitting near him. It's like he had an exclusion zone all of his own. And he just kind of put his hand up like he couldn't give a shit. He just, a question. I said, yeah. He said, where are you on the Mick McCarthy, Roy Keane thing? Now, I would be a kind of Roy Keane fan a lot of the time. I'm in Munster, right? And I'm sure they all hate authority, so I just went with Roy Keane. and he said, yeah, Grant, carry on. Well, thank you. So I carried on, and that was fine, and then we was all wrapping up then at the end, and I was chatting to Rita and Tricia, and the guards had arrived back into the room, because they all left, by the way. The prison officers left. So they then came back in, and it was all very quiet. They were all going out the door, but the guy in the corner was coming towards me, so with his prison officer attached. So they were all going and he was. So I was kind of taking maybe he wants to ask me a question or something. So I was tidying up my bits and pieces, and he walks right up to me, and he steps completely into my personal space, and he stands there. and his prison officer is there. And that's when I noticed for the first time that he had a scar that started above his nose and ended up behind his ear somewhere. So we're all there like this. And he said, "Is this what you do, like?" And I said, "Pardon?" Like, is this it? Is this what you do? Do you get paid for this? I said, "Yeah, most of the time." And he said, "Well, haven't you got it fucking sorted, pal?" Tapped me on the shoulder and off he went. I've had some dark days since. Being a freelancer is not for the faint-hearted when an economic recession happens. Being part of the gig economy is not for the faint-hearted when there's a pandemic. I didn't earn €1 for 2 years during the recession. I didn't earn €1 for 3 years during the pandemic. A couple of friends got me through, a couple of other bits and pieces, but also the Limerick guy got me through as well, I'd have to say. Although I wasn't, of course, paid anything for that, that has turned out to be the most valuable experiences that I've ever had. So lads, in the future, if things are a bit dark, and if it doesn't feel like it at the time, maybe still, though, you've still got it fucking sorted. Thank you.